Hey guys, this is Brother Wallace, the bearded missionary from Kenya, East Africa, where we help orphans and needy children and so much more. I was asked a question this week, Life in Kenya question. What's it like to live in Kenya and what's the biggest thing you have to deal with? Well, I've been driving for over 40 years in my life. And when I came here to Kenya, I've never seen anything like it. Okay, I have never seen anything like it. Now we're going to have several part A, part one, part two, probably part three or four, because this is a big subject. I can talk about this for hours. If you sit around with other missionaries, they can tell you stories, crazy stories for hours. But the driving is completely different, okay? One reason is there's no accountability, okay? There's just no real accountability. In America, we have police cars in general. Some of the big towns may have a car or a motorcycle or two, but overall, 99.9% of the country does not have that. You have policemen, and then you have traffic people, and the traffic people that do the traffic, they stand at certain places and they'll stop you sometimes, and they want to see if your registration's okay or whatever, your insurance, and that's pretty much what they're for. And they can only see you as far as they can see with their human eyes, okay? So that's all they can see you at, you know. So there's no real accountability. In other words, I can drive any way I want because there's nobody that's going to stop me. And I'm going to be honest with you, they drive any way they want. There's really no accountability. In America, you got a police officer. If you drive reckless, they'll pull you over. We'll know your license, your registration, sir. Do you know what I pulled you over for? There's none of that, okay? That don't happen, okay? There's like a few speed traps. There's one from here to Nairobi, a speed trap, and everybody knows it's there, and everybody drives slow and so forth. But that's really the only one I know of. I mean, there might be another one or two, but that's usually it, okay? Usually there's no accountability, and that's the number one problem. There's no accountability, and I'm going to start telling you some stories in a little bit in the next few of how crazy the driving is. First 2 years here, I would not drive. I would not drive. After about a year and a half, I did have a vehicle. I had a driver. And the first year and a half I was here, I would not drive any. 6 months after that, I drive around the community. The steering wheel is on the opposite side of the vehicle. That took a long time to get used to. That means you drive on the opposite side of the road because the guy driving is always in the center. If you think about it, in America, you're in the center of the two lanes and so forth. So you're on the opposite side of the road and you're driving on the opposite side, and that takes time to get used to. I don't know how many times when I first got here I tried to get in my vehicle to drive and I'd climb in the passenger side. And it's funny because the stick shift in America is on the right. You're using your right hand. Over here you got to learn to use your left hand, okay? And it's the same gear pattern, okay? In America, you come, if you're no stick shift, you come in, up, down. In Kenya, it's still the same pattern, but you go out. It's not in. So you go out and up, down, you know. So it takes a while to learn all that. Some of the rules are different, to learn everything and so forth. And how they control the speed over here, and I'm going to tell you a lot of stories. So this is just part one, okay? How they control the speed over here is speed bumps. And most of them, I'd say 90% are not marked, okay? Some of them are marked in bigger areas, whatever. Some counties, they're marked, nice, you can see them. But 90% of them are not marked, and there's a lot of them. We did a trip one time somewhere, and I can't remember where we were going. We went there, came back. We just counted speed bumps. There's over 90 speed bumps, okay? And they got the little ripple ones, and then you got a speed bump. And these speed bumps, you have to slow down. I mean, you have to go down to first gear. Second gear, maybe. First or second gear. You got to slow down. And one night, we were going, and we were coming back from looking at the land. It was like 12 o'clock at night, raining, dark, and we did not see this speed bump. And we hit this speed bump, and we flew 5 feet in the air. Almost flipped my vehicle over. We had to pull over to make sure that we didn't mess up our vehicle. It scared me to death. about killed us because it wasn't marked, and you moving along at speed. Anyway, that is life in Kenya. This is the driving part one. This is part one. There's going to be several parts of this. I'm going to describe to you how crazy it is over here driving and so forth, what you got to get used to. But anyway, please go up here and subscribe. Go to ookp.org, ookp.org. We need your funds. We need your finances. We need your prayers. We help orphans, needy children, and so much more. From Kenya, East Africa, where life is not easy, but it's always an adventure. Bearded Missionary, Kwaheri, goodbye.